The world once was blind, not metaphorically, literally. There were no eyes, no breath, no memory, no witness, only heat and silence. A molten crust floated on magma seas, restless and seething. Above, a furious young sun pushed dim light through clouds of ash and vapor, illuminating nothing but vaporized stone and poison storms. And yet, something was happening. Dust from stars had gathered, collided, melted, and fused. Water arrived in frozen fragments from beyond. The earth cooled. Oceans formed not by rainfall, but by vapor collapsing into waves. And beneath these primeval tides, chemistry began to imitate life. At first, it was all blind chance. Molecules crashing and folding, then membranes, then replication. Life didn't burst into existence. It hesitated and it twitched, it guessed. The first cells fed on minerals in darkness near hydrothermal vents. No sunlight, no color, only pressure, sulfur, and motion. But among them, some discovered a trick. Photosynthesis. They began releasing oxygen as waste, slowly, quietly transforming the sky. The irony? In doing so, they killed nearly everything else. Earth's first mass extinction was caused by breath. Still, the survivors adapted, and the air changed again. Not all at once, but enough. And for the first time in the history of the planet, something saw the light. Eyes. That's how it began. The Cambrian seas filled with creatures that could see, and being seen changed everything. Where life had once drifted, unaware, it now pursued, attacked, hid. Evolution accelerated. In only a few million years, the oceans became crowded with strange armored electric purpose. Trilobites roamed the seafloor in glinting shells. Hallucigenia walked on spines. Anomalocaris, like a segmented missile, hunted with barbed arms and a circular mouth full of razors. Eyes gave birth to strategy, and strategy gave birth to fear. It was the first evolutionary arms race. Shells begat claws, claws begat speed. Creatures began choosing how to move, where to flee, when to strike. Nervous systems sharpened. Reflexes coiled tighter. Some became stalkers, others vanished into the mud. No one knows what triggered this explosion. Oxygen levels, genetic innovation, environmental pressure, maybe all of it. Or maybe Earth simply reached a moment where life could no longer remain simple. Light passed through shallow water and struck lenses that knew they were lenses. Shapes took on meaning. And the ocean, once silent, became a battlefield of glimmers, flinches, and sudden death. But amid that chaos was a new kind of beauty. One born not from peace, but from complexity. The ocean could no longer contain what it had started. From the shallows, life crawled toward light. First mosses, clinging to wet stone, whispering green across barren rock, then stems, then leaves, then ferns that reached toward sky, exhaling oxygen with every breath. Earth's air thickened into something you could almost drink. And the creatures followed. Arthropods, centipedes, spiders, scorpions were the first animals to walk the land. Their exoskeletons cracked against stone. Their spiracles drew in air laced with oxygen. They moved with no song, no sound but rustle and click. And they flourished. Oxygen surged beyond modern levels, 35% or more. And with it came scale. Insects grew massive. Dragonflies with meter-wide wings shimmered above primordial forests. Millipedes the length of cars undulated through leaf litter. Scorpions hunted amphibians under fern canopies. The Carboniferous was not a jungle, it was excess. But it was beautiful. Sunlight filtered through endless fronds. The ground breathed rot and life. Every root and shadow pulsed with crawling intention. And somewhere in the muck, a fish lifted its head above water and blinked. That blink changed everything. Lungs inflated, limbs tested gravity, and bones bore weight. The leap to land was not graceful, but it was enough. The air was too rich, not nurturing, unstable. Fire spread like thought. Insects, unhinged by oxygen, grew monstrous. Meganeura glided like kites of stained glass, their wing beats deep enough to feel in the chest. Arthropleura, the millipede titan, rippled like a slow-moving train through rotting underbrush. The world hummed with motion, but no sound we'd recognize. No birds, no mammals, just the drone of wings and the echo of legs. It was a jungle born of imbalance. And yet, it held. The Carboniferous was Earth's fever dream, a breathing greenhouse, a stage for experiments. Evolution tried everything: armor, limbs, spines, gills, lungs. The air throbbed with potential, but pressure always invites collapse. Tectonic shifts brought dryness. Swamps shrank, forests thinned, oxygen dropped. And the giants, those insect leviathans, couldn't breathe in the thinning air. Their age ended not with violence, but with exhalation. But something smaller remained. hungrier. Stranger, things with jaws, with inner heat. And somewhere, among the drying ferns and fading buzz, a new kind of creature walked. It didn't look impressive, but it was watching. They looked like reptiles, but felt warmer. Therapsids, not quite mammal, not quite lizard. They bore heat under their skin, teeth in varied rows, eyes that looked forward. Dimetrodon, the sail-backed predator, moved like a crocodile, but hunted with purpose. Gorgonopsids struck with saber fangs. Lystrosaurus dug, trudged, endured. The Earth was Pangea now, a single, sun-scorched landmass with deserts at its heart. Weather whipped between extremes. Rain was rare. Survival meant adaptation or extinction. And synapsids, our strange ancestors, thrived. For a time. Their brains grew. Their ears shifted. Some sprouted whiskers. The scaffolding for emotion and memory began to rise. These creatures didn't just react, they chose. In their brains, maps. In their lungs, air warmed from within. And in their blood, the future. But Earth was growing restless. From deep beneath Siberia, a nightmare was stirring. It started with fire. A volcanic wound opened and bled lava for nearly 1 million years. Ash blackened the sky. Carbon thickened the air. Oceans turned acidic. Photosynthesis staggered. Food chains snapped. Temperature soared. This was the Great Dying. 90% of marine life gone. Most land animals erased. The forests burned. The air soured. Earth did not reset. It suffocated. But not all. In hidden burrows, Lystrosaurus survived. In shrinking streams, small amphibians clung on. In the dust, proto-mammals waited with quiet lungs and quiet eyes. It was a triumph. It was survival. Barely. And into that silence came opportunity. From the bones of the Permian rose the next age. Dinosaurs would come, oceans would heal, forests would shift. But something else would echo through the ruins. An unbroken line, still flickering. Us. We are descendants of the survivors. The fire-blooded, burrow-hiding, heat-holding few who endured Earth's most profound silence. And if the Earth could change so much once, what if it could again?